Okay, so we have gone over a lot of the logistics regarding basically getting started as a brand partner. Now, I want to talk a little bit of strategy and what I think really sets people up for success. Do you have to do any of this? Absolutely not. But I have watched thousands, and I really mean that, thousands of people over the last since 2012, whenever you're watching this. And I've really picked up on some patterns that I watch people succeed and I watch people fail. And so I want to set you up to succeed. Number one, when you become a brand partner, I do believe you need to be a product of the product. And if you have not experienced the whole line, I'm not saying you have to take the whole line. What I do believe is you should really have an experience with each of the products. Because if I go to a restaurant and I ask the waiter, hey, what is your favorite beef dish? Oh, I'm a vegetarian. That's not going to be somebody that I'm going to ask. And it's like, okay, well, you work at a steakhouse as a vegetarian. I'm not saying you can't do that, but there it loses a lot of its power. And so I do think you should have experience with each of the products, even if you say, hey, I need help from a friend. I am getting started in a nutrition company, and there's a couple of products that really aren't my thing, but I would love if somebody wants to trial them and tell me what they think. So I'm looking for people that want to trial this. You might even get a customer out of it. But I do think you need to know how to share somebody else's experience. And for people who are like, okay, well, I don't think I ever need to share something like that. There are people, for instance, in the Magic campaign that are nursing and breastfeeding. They can't even take it. But what they're doing is being able to share the benefits of somebody that they know, and they're able to utilize that. And so if you don't want to just cut yourself off from some of the products, I do think it's important to actually get them in either your system or in somebody else's. So, for example, there's not a single product that Pure has ever released that I did not buy. And even if it wasn't something I was looking forward to, I at least tested it or I found somebody to test it so that I could get the feedback so that I knew how to navigate that line or that product. And so I do believe that this is the time to really set yourself up for success because you need to know what it is that you're offering. The company does a phenomenal job with its packs. And so if you look at some of the packs that are at 500 PV, 1000 PV, 2000 PV, those are not dollars, but if you look at those, that's something that you could do. We're going to talk strategy for a second. If you are a brand partner and you are wanting to do exactly what I just said, you might really want to look at doing the 2000 PV pack. And here's why: you're going to get the most product. You're usually getting a good $1,500 or more in free product because of the bundles that they offer. The other thing is remember we talked about first orders, you get 20% no matter what. Second orders, it's all based on CRB. Here's my strategy. I would sign up a customer. I would place a small order as the first order, trigger the 20%. Then what I would do is I would place that huge pack, that 2000 pack, because say it's $2,500 or $3,000 that is. If you do a custom, you're closer to the 3,000. If you do a bundle pack that they pick and you kind of get everything from the line, it's probably going to be in that 2,500 range. Okay, so you place a 2000 PV order. What just happened? You got 50% on that. And so you're going to get $1,000 back. So you can get over $3,000 worth of product. You can get that for 2,500 with $1,000 kickback. You're getting 30 some $100 worth of product for 1,500, and you're really getting to experience the line. I think that's so smart, so critical for you to understand how to use it. So that is my soapbox moment, is that trying to get you to do a bigger order. No, it's not. It's really, you need to know what it is that you're talking about because you can only sell what you actually use. Why do you think I know the products inside and out? Because we have all of them at all times. Except for a couple that we don't use. You don't hear me talk a lot about Sleep Trim. You don't hear me talk about Pure Cafe, but I have taken it, I've used it, I have put it in recipes. I know the pros and cons of a lot of these. And so I have experienced them. And so there's my tangent on that. Now, if you're not ready to do that, go as close to that as possible. The next thing I would say is put yourself on a full plan. If you're not going to order basically something that's cleanse, balance, build, and really put yourself on a plan, I honestly think you're better off as a customer if I'm being completely transparent. Because if you don't really even understand the cleanse, balance, build philosophy and you're not putting it to work for you, what's the point? If this is just about commission, kudos to you. Go ahead and then just sell away. Um, but I think when you have that personal experience, it's going to be way better. So if you need help with a plan, or if you're like, hey, I really want to customize, a plan for myself, a plan for my spouse, a plan for my kids, a plan for whoever, we can definitely help with that. Targeted needs are really smart to understand what that could be. So maybe pick one of those. Um, but getting started with that would be a very brilliant thing. And as often as you can, get as many points into the CRB versus the first order, because first order is always going to be 20%. The name of the game is to get yourself into a zone where your customer reorders are building, 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 because that's 50%. That's going to be massive for you as far as a paycheck goes. And if you allow that to grow, I do have a training. I don't remember what it's called, but it's 6 phases basically to $1,000 a month. And I'm teaching you how that you could start with as little as 320 PV in month one in just new volume. And if you do that again and do that again and do that again and maintain a certain percentage, then you're going to be at $1,000 a month. And for some products that just are hot sellers like magic, that's going to be even simpler. And so that would be my suggestion. Number one, get started, set yourself up for success, make sure you have experience with the product. And I have what's called the product passport. It's in the files section of a lot of the groups. If you need it, just reach out and we can get that. My email is Taryn@tarynleiker.com. If you ever need that, TARYN, and then at TARYNLEIKER.com. And basically, we can get any of the forms to you, or you can request them, but you can take notes on them. And the way I have you taking notes is in a way that you can actually help people understand the value of them and why they would be wanting to use them. And so that would be my first step. Second, you are looking to start getting products into people's bodies. And so, however, you can wrap your head around that, start with what you can and will do. And so, whether that's a single product, just start really blitzing it. I do believe in inbound and outbound campaigns. Inbound is what you set out there that people can ask you, outbound is where you actually reach out to people. And so, if I called somebody up and said, hey, I know you have been looking for a simple solution to weight loss, and I know some of the things we've talked about have just seemed a little complex. Recently, the company released a product that we are shocked at the results, and I think it's just the thing you've been looking for. Are you game to try a bottle of magic? That's an outbound campaign. If I make a list and make those calls, I'm calling them. If I put out a post on social media, if I do a TikTok video or anything, that is an inbound. I basically put it out there, and when people want to approach me with it, then they can. And so I do have a couple of other training resources. So one is called the Weekly Method of Operation, and then the other one is the Inbound Creation for Facebook, I think, or social media. But basically, it's showing you what you should be doing on a weekly basis in order to continue to build and build and build. So many people think this is hard, and it's really not. Where most people fail is they do nothing in Pure for a whole week. And then they're like, oh, shoot, I'll get to that next week. Then they do nothing for 2 weeks. Then they do nothing for 3 weeks. Then they do nothing for 4 weeks. And then they have an auto ship come up and they're like, wait, I thought I was going to be earning something. Well, you did nothing. And so if you just do a little bit and you are consistent each week, you might be like, man, I only put in 30 minutes. That is amazing, because most people won't. Do what others won't, and you're going to have what other people, are only wanting. And so it's really important to actually put in the action, because it's not as hard to be in a position like I am or other people are, because we're consistent. We're constantly putting it out there. We're thinking about how could we approach people with Pure? What need or what frustration or goal do people have that Pure could actually fill that need? Now, I don't believe in becoming a Pure lemming. That sucks. I've been there, done that. You don't want to be the person that people run from at the grocery store, but you can absolutely say and look for opportunities. I know people that were at a park, just chit chatting with, a woman that just sat and didn't even know him, and just starting to chit chat. And people share their frustrations. Women will share, hey, I was really frustrated with my weight, and it was just very, it was awful, I didn't feel like myself. And you could say, I actually help women with that. Would you be open to taking a look at something that I think might actually resonate with you? There's simple things that you can do. But when you stay engaged, when you stay with this, you're going to hear those little nuggets be like, oh, I could talk to somebody like that. Or even what I just said, you would be like, oh, I didn't even know what I could say to that mom at the baseball park. Or I didn't even know what I could say to this person. And so just make sure that you really stay engaged and just continue to share, and just let it grow on its own. But there's a lot of resources out there, there's a lot of help. And so we are just so excited that you have considered starting or you have started. And be sure to check out Real Achievers. That is a Facebook group that I do a lot of different trainings, whiteboard sessions, strategy sessions. And so there are a lot of opportunities to learn and see how to grow, in such a dynamic team that you're going to be able to see how other people are doing it as well. So I hope that helps, but just get out there. You can do home meetings. They're absolutely fantastic, and we can help you with kind of understanding the flow. There are videos that can be used. Live a Vibrant, Healthy Life is one that people have leveraged for years, that just shares the cleanse, balance, build philosophy. And so just get out there and be proud of yourself for each and every action that you take. And if there's ever anything that you have as far as a question goes, feel free to reach out, and ask. And I would love to do training because chances are there are more people wondering exactly what it is that you did. And thank you in all of these videos for humoring me that I had my glasses on. I'm doing my best to not have blue light in my eyes, past a certain time of the day. And so, cheers to you. And I cannot wait to see and celebrate your results. And I'm really glad that you grabbed this for your family. So, kudos, and we'll talk to you later.